your General Greene here at AMTV and, of course, Bitcoin Rich and islandproject.com. It has literally been such a massive day for winning. I'm going to reveal some huge alpha for all of you tuning in. This is for free. You can make a lot of money, a lot of Bitcoin or the Bitcoin. Please like and share. We had a really good, fun video earlier this morning, of course. Having a good time, taking a victory lap because these announcements are just so huge with Donald Trump. It is absolutely ridiculous. I like these new visors too, aren't they pretty cool? Yeah, these are pretty dope, all camoed out. Wanted to show that to you. So absolutely ridiculous. So even after the production of that video, which we're just having fun too, take a victory lap occasionally when you're right about things and you're having a good time. It's the whole point of life. But even after the US stock market closed, or at least that's when I saw this major headline, Coinbase, one of my top stock picks and holdings, is now being listed as a part of the S&P 500. Yes, my hair is kind of crazy right now. But Coinbase stock, my long-standing pick, I've only recommended two stocks. One is Palantir. It was actually the best performing asset in the S&P 500 last year. In 2024, it's made many of you millionaires. And then Coinbase, which I'm a major investor in as well, and it's always been one of my recommended exchanges, now also being listed as an S&P 500 holding. I think a lot of you fail to realize how significant this is. This means that every single hedge fund in America, every single index fund, all the ETFs that track the SPY, SPY, and the S&P are now forced to buy one of my number one picks, Coinbase. So this is like abrupt, in-your-face winning on a whole new level, but it's also silent winning too, because the entire Wall Street, I'm trying to think of the word, but like Wall Street in general, institutions just buy index funds, or they buy an index like the S&P. So like a lot of Americans won't even know, but now you actually officially own my recommendation. And I always said this would happen with Bitcoin, that even if you did not buy it, not only would you stay poor and stay broke, and you'd watch people like me and my members get incredibly wealthy and rich, which is not the point of my existence, by the way. For the haters out there, let the haters hate, but like that's never actually been my primary motivation. My primary motivation has honestly been, number one, God, but to prove people wrong, to prove honestly how stupid people are, to prove how dumb your financial advisor is, to prove how the world basically lies to you. And then if you're smarter and you're playing chess, you'll actually win every single time. Like, for example, we know governments are untrustworthy. They're lying psychopaths. The mainstream media always lies to you. If someone in an authority position tells you something, it's usually the opposite. Never trust a politician, just like our founding fathers never did. And they never trusted government authority at all. It's literally why they declared 1776. I mean, I'm working out in the gym earlier today. I'm trying to keep it PC, show you guys a good time. But like, nothing that the world offers you provides any value. Like, the world will make you broke, unhealthy, sick, poor, lonely, and fat. I mean, even this idea that Donald Trump has to lower big pharma costs for all these drugs that Americans are taking proves my point. Like, why are you even on any of those things? You don't need those things. You get on one of them, and then there's a side effect, and then you need another one, and then something goes wrong with the other one, and then you're on 3, and then you're on 4, and then you're on 5, and then you're on 10, and then you're on 20. Like, you realize it's a sales pitch, right? You do realize that these large Fortune 100 companies are milking the American people like fat cows. Like, you do understand that, right? It's funny how people will be like, oh, Christopher, like, you bring all this hardcore truth and, you'll get the criticism or cynicism. Like, bro, I'm just telling you the truth of how it operates. Like, do you not understand the system of which you live in? And our society is quickly degraded and devolved into much more of an idiocracy. Have you noticed that? What picks up steam online, for example, at least from my perspective, is like the dumber it is, the better, right? Like, and it's kind of good in a way. It's kind of genius because I've always viewed art and comedy is the highest form of politics, which is why I always love people like George Carlin and others because they're really like political action figures. They're like the real ballers that get away with it, but because you're like chuckling while they're saying it, they're able to throw the daggers. So absolutely massive, and it just confirms every prediction that I've ever made, honestly, on this platform. And I'm not giving myself the credit. I'm really giving that credit to God and you tuning in. I mean, you guys are amazing, and so many of you knew exactly what I knew years ago, that obviously your government is just a sack of crap and never comply and don't do what you're told. And if they tell you Bitcoin's a scam, you know they're lying. That's when you go all in and you sell your house and your cars and everything and just buy as much Bitcoin as possible because, again, most people you know, look how society is organized. The general population broke. So why would you take the general population's advice when they're brokies and not take the very few elite people that know what they're doing, that get it right, that set themselves apart from the general crowd? And so we're in this very optimistic period right now where like the winning is so crazy. So Donald Trump and his sons also announced they're like launching a whole new crypto mining company. I don't know if you caught this. So Coinbase is now on the S&P 500. So all of you that own an index fund, I want you to think about this. Those of you that have hated my message over the last 15, 20 years or whatever it is, you're still broke, you're still poor, you've been proven wrong. Now you actually own Bitcoin because you're forced through your 401ks. I love this. Honestly, it titillates me. You are now forced in all your 401ks and retirement accounts that own or track the index that is the S&P 500 and the SPY, you now own what I recommended. And I always told you this would happen, that Bitcoin was so massive, so huge, so cutting edge that it was bigger than Google, Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft, the list, Netflix, SpaceX, the list goes on and on. It is ridiculous. Bitcoin is now proving itself to be the world reserve, just like I predicted. And you're also noticing too, all the influencers, and I'm not an influencer, I'm just a badass, I'm your general. But I actually kind of look down on that. So don't never call me, I'm not an influencer, okay? But notice all the influencers are now copying everything we've done over the last like 20 years. Like they're all pitching you crypto all of a sudden, even though they called it a scam and, like they had no participation in it. Now they're experts, right? So you guys know, I don't even have to prove myself. You know who the real OG is here. So let's just get into the bare bones now that I've done my little rant, which is probably even unnecessary, but it's kind of fun and it's my platform and I can do whatever the heck I want. But let's get into the nitty gritty of what's going to happen next. So Super Bull, super cycle bull, massive dollar collapse, massive destruction of the USD, light it on fire and piss on its grave. That's how bad it is. Inflation is rampant, just like I predicted. And, look, I like Donald Trump, but the bottom line is he's going to print more than any other president ever has. Any other president. I like Donald Trump. I think he's doing good things. But that's a fact. And I've pointed out this fact many times before, and it just goes in one ear and out the other. And I'm like, buy Bitcoin. But like even during his last presidency, he printed $8 trillion, eroding and destroying the US dollar. Joe Biden did the same, but printed 2 trillion less at 6 trillion, destroying the dollar and making me and you rich if you own Bitcoin and crypto and assets that are physical with no bank debt. And so the trend is your friend, and the central bank is a criminal scam. And I'm being nice. I had a worse word, but I'm keeping it family friendly. And so this trend is just going to continue, and the winning is going to keep on winning. So what's going on? I'm going to give you the alpha. Here's the major alpha. So like you're going to see a lot of volatility here within the next 24 hours or so. Now, I made huge moves. I added to my allocation. I'm just telling you what I do, full disclosure. I mean, I went balls, diamond nuts deep earlier this morning because I can just sense it, right? I could just sense it in my loins, right? I'm doing the pump up earlier this morning and I'm like, buy. So I bought Bitcoin, added to my allocation. I bought Ethereum. Those two key positions. I'm bullish XRP as well. I didn't add too much today because I'm already such a huge whale there. And I did take some profits at $3, but I am an XRP bull. And then in addition to that, I bought my number one pick. I bought a lot in RSR. So I'm already whaling around, you know, a wheelbarrow of freaking diamond nuts as it is. But I added more, okay? Because nothing's too heavy for the general to carry his walloping nuts across the floor. They kind of drag on the floor, but they're made of steel. Do you understand? And we are now going to enter. So here's what's happening. A lot of the options and futures expirations are hitting. Okay, so we're seeing that. Fear to greed is going to greed, but we're not even at greed yet. And then, like and share this. And then in addition to that, all the leverage traders, and I don't do leverage, and the reason for that is I just don't like it. I saw a lot of people hurt in 2008 and 09, so I just spot trade, full disclosure. I've always recommended that because you can be right and then trade with size and then lose everything, right? Like my real estate portfolio has no bank debt at all. But I could buy 100 more homes. Like if I just made a phone call and was like, yeah, you know, let's take 70% DDI. I could literally shock buy 100 new properties if I wanted to. But I haven't done that. Why? Number one, volatility. Two, uncertainty. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. So I actually think we're entering a super panic up only bubble. So I guess this is like the root cause of this video today, which I didn't even know I was going to talk about this. But I think we're going to enter a hyper scam up only bubble. I literally think that this is going to be it sounds weird that I'm saying this, but like a worst case scenario pumpity pump that is literally going to shatter the earth, break all-time records, be a full-blown renaissance. Like I'm going to be bathing with Donald Trump and Elon Musk like it was Rome, like in a saltwater pool naked. It's going to be that bad. Like your grandma's going to start buying Bitcoin, like taxi cab drivers, the AI, your favorite new robot, your Neuralink's going to be shock buying all the Bitcoin. And I'm not even joking. I'm using some theatrics, but I know this is going to happen. I always knew they were going to do this. And I see this across like all my feeds, like, what are they going to do with all this debt? There's all this debt that they got to pay. No, they don't. I've told you this for 20 freaking years. And I'm literally at the point where I'm almost tired of saying it because I've been so right. It's annoying. It's annoying. It's a nuisance being this right. It's annoying enjoying these profits. It's annoying getting so freaking rich and making my members so badass, diamond nuts rich every freaking day. Outperforming every single hedge fund, every single crappy financial advisor that honestly, it makes me lose my freaking cool. But I'm telling you straight up now that we are now going to enter absolute golden age panda freaking monium. But it's going to grow into a huge bubble. And I already know what's going to happen after that. I have a very detailed plan and kind of analysis for that. But like you'll notice, and I'm going to give you like a hint. Notice all these companies right now, and they're doing great things, but everyone's adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. Everyone's leverage buying it as a part of their new treasury. You've got Michael Saylor, who's going to be like the world's first trillionaire. All the fanfare. They put him on Time magazine, right? I mean, that's always when you need your eyebrows need to kind of, huh? Really? Huh? I mean, that was the last time we saw that, it was like FTX. Now, I'm not saying that Saylor isn't going to be wildly successful. I actually think he probably will be. But there's a healthy sense of skepticism in me because nothing in life is that easy. So as these companies now hooker out the fake Wall Street debt market and then borrow enormous amounts of fake hyperinflated crappy USD and then trade it for Bitcoin, you're literally going to have paper assets worth nothing that are set on fire, that are literally death, moving into a fixed asset with no more supply. And it's going to literally create a snowball effect up only. And there's going to be such a panic and shock buys from sovereign governments and Donald Trump and the new crypto czar and every sovereign wealth fund and every hedge fund and every lookalike copycat Saylor. And they're all going to be using leverage to buy the Bitcoin. This goes, honestly, even my own estimates from 20 years ago might be too conservative. I've said this before, but my very conservative estimates have been Bitcoin will be 2 to 3 million, right? And I've really mentally, I think instinctually always saw it at 3 million. So 2's too low. But the more that I think about it and I see it playing out and I see how dumb, honestly, the American people are, like how dumb they are. Like they literally missed Bitcoin for 15 years. Now they're just starting to kind of come on board, after their compliance and stuff. And now I see Wall Street solidify every prediction that I've manifested, everything I've ever said. We're now shocking Wall Street. My few stocks that I own are added to the S&P 500. Every grandma now is forced to own Bitcoin and Coinbase. I think even my own expectations have been too light. But I always like to play it a little conservative because, I'm looking at this from a long game perspective. You got to think about this from a long game. Like, where is this headed? So I just want to put some ideas in your head, and I want you to honestly think about this right now. What do you do? And then I'm going to let you think for a minute. But Bitcoin's going to hit at least 3 million a coin. Now, this is going to be trading 1,000x short term. I mean, this is the best investment right here. But the stable value that is Bitcoin that a lot of you have missed, that's why I tell you not to miss this. Like Natasha just came in with 150K from Austria, and Damien just came in today. Finally, he had filled out an app, finally committed. Congratulations, Damien, for stepping up, being a man, getting into the best project in the world, taking action on yourself, emboldening yourself. I'm going to help you become a multi-millionaire as a part of my project. But I'm going to ask the question, then we're going to pause, like the game of Jeopardy. And I want you to think about it, because even I was thinking about it. Bitcoin's going to trade at 3 million a coin. Then what? Then what? Do 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 do. So again, I want you to think about that, but what is the next phase? See, I'm never interested in what's currently happening, like what's in vogue. Like everyone's getting all excited about Bitcoin. Like, oh, my phones are ringing off the hook. I've got like 10 phones. Like, oh, Christopher, long time no see. Can I get some free Bitcoin advice? Even though they wanted nothing to do with me 20 years ago. So I've already moved on. And I want you to understand this. I'm always 20 years ahead of the dumb crapping crowd, the idiots, the pawns of the United States, the peasant class. And I say that honestly with a loving heart, but let's be honest. I mean, compliers, losers, broke, do what they're told, not real men, not real women like my freaking members at islandproject.com, not my non-compliers like all you tuning in, not my God fear, faith first fearing individuals, the regular normies out there. Thinking that they're not going to be replaced by the AI. Do you know Fortune 100 hates your guts? Do you know every single CEO is looking forward to replacing you with a robot? Do you know all these people don't have your best interests at heart? But I do. So I've always told you this. Love me, hate me, controversial, non-controversial. I've just told you the truth. I want you rich. I want you fighting the deep state. My gosh, look at that right now. That is incredible. To God be the glory. I mean, he might even be coming back right now. Might have to turn off the camera. Honestly. By the way, got a visit from my brother today. He always comes to me in a red Cardinal. He was like telling me what's up. I was with all my kids and giving my wife a break as I was continuing her Mother's Day present. So she's getting a break. I'm with all the kids, you know. I got kids crawling all over me and stuff. Baby Faith is over here. I'm just like trying to eat a sandwich. But it was so awesome. And then Uncle Cody, everyone's uncle, shows up. He's like, "What's up, bro?" He's like, "What's up, man? Got your back, got your back." And he always gives me these signs. So ask yourself that question, because I already know what's going to happen after Bitcoin hits 7 multiple figures. I already figured it out a long time ago, just like I figured out Bitcoin ahead of every single person you know. You know, and I know what everyone said. Oh, he's just some guy on the internet. He doesn't know what he's talking. Even though I worked on Wall Street, I'm top of my class. I'm a Division I All-American. Became a millionaire super young. Invented alternative media television. Dominated everything I freaking ever touched. Oh, he's just some guy on the internet. We better not listen to him. As I just keep getting richer and richer every single day. I mean, I come from good fruit too. I mean, my dad's a badass, for crying out loud. My dad's rightfully, amazingly successful in his own right. So is my mother. I mean, these people are exceptional individuals. They raised me right. Like, what can I say? But everybody has missed this, and I already figured out after what you're paying attention to now. So here's my point. So many of you are focused on what's going on now, and I already see it a full 20, 25, 30. Really looking out, if I'm going to be honest, I mean, I'm already out to like 2055. I'm out to 2055. And yet the dumb crapping Americans are still looking at Bitcoin like, I don't know, maybe it's good time to buy some of this. As they're going to be forced. Now, officially, you're forced to own it. So every Tom, Dick, and Harry, every hater, all you cynics out there, I guess you own the Bitcoin now. Just like I predicted. To God be the glory, right again, with Coinbase's announcement. And it's just the first of many to be added to our major indexes here on Wall Street. So the big transition here is twofold. Let me give you the alpha. One, RWA, real world asset tokenization, physical assets, like we've already been working our butts off to build, because again, I'm looking out way further than most people, and I see things that other people don't. This is my area of expertise. I'm not good at everything, but in this area, I'm the best in the world. I'm the best in the world at Bitcoin and crypto. My father's the best in the world in real estate and as a manager. Best in the world. You just don't get any better. Good people as well. But I already see what's happening. So it's twofold. One is RWA, and the other is Internet of Humans. And they're going to connect both together. Now, this is going to bring up profound ethical, spiritual, moral equation type questions. And you guys know what I stand for. And I actually built and designed wholeheartedly and fully, spiritually, because God instructed every step of the way, the Island Project, to resist all these things that I already know are coming way ahead of the American masses and the general population. Not you, and I'm not patronizing you, my audience. You guys are freaking amazing. I'm sure some of you are even smarter than I am. I'm just pointing out that the general normies, like my good friend Josh in the gold business, really great Christian man. We always chat and chuckle and joke around and stuff. And it's just like, we're always talking about like what the normies think as we travel all the world, and we actually have resources and see it from a different perspective that no one else sees it in the world. We have like actual real experience, and everyone else has just got their opinions. Eating their popcorn and stuffing their face with Doritos every day and just inhaling Big Macs and Starbucks frappuccinos into their mouths and just, drilling it down, adding more sugar of caramel, just drooling from the mouth, just taking as many of these as they can, but won't do anything simple like eat healthy, go to sleep on time, work out, sweat, go for a walk, get into good relationships. Like, won't cover any of the basics, no prayer for them. They don't believe in God, just drooling all over themselves, driving around in a cart through Walmart because they decided they'd stop walking 40 years ago. You guys know what I mean. And I'm not being, hard on people with legitimate issues or problems or anything like that. But I'm talking about the average person that just gave up a long time ago. Everyone that told me, oh, Christopher, go get a real job. Who's laughing now? Honestly. Play it safe. The opposite advice. Oh, you can't do your passion. You can't make any money. Bull crap. I've had no competition, honestly, my entire life because everyone's so fearful biting their fingernails. And I want you to relate. I'm not sharing this just because I'm sharing it with you. I'm sharing this because I want you to look at your own life and actually see what you can do, how you can change your behavior set, how you can actually get on offense in a really huge way and better yourself and grow stronger in these trying times. As a Christian, we know what's coming because it's not a prediction. I just read my Bible every night. I'm like, oh yeah, that's going to come. Okay, so the mark of the beast is coming and there's going to be a great deception and it looks like there's the Antichrist and oh wow, like iron and clay don't mix. So we already know how it ends. Nothing that these people are trying to do, like Sam Altman's got an orb now. I want you to stick your eye in it and put your eye socket right in it so he can steal all your data and authenticate you as a slave cuck sheep, right? Not that he hasn't invented good technology with ChatGPT, but it's probably all DARPA. Let's be honest with ourselves. You think it was just Sam Altman in a corner with his little computer like, nee? Of course not. It was DARPA, it was InQtel, it was Wall Street, it was the Black X Ops. You guys know how this works. I mean, who do you think invented the internet? The internet was invented by DARPA. Who do you think invented all this new stuff you're seeing in new technology? Again, it's not black and white, it's kind of gray. A lot of this technology is open source and it has all these crazy individuals, including myself in it, and we're all innovating and extracting value and creating new opportunities, but eventually it all gets consolidated, and then your big evil government comes down with a giant iron fist and then rounds all your asses up and throws you into the gulag, just like they always do, which is proven in history over and over and over and over again. So the only point that I'm making is we understand where it's going. And I like to give that spiritual edge that no one else gives to you. But the question is, what do you do? What are your action points now? Well, like I said, even yesterday or over the week, and a lot of you, I'm sorry, I got to be honest, you missed it. You freaking missed it. You missed Bitcoin. Bitcoin at $1 million is only a 10x. This 1,000x's plus. This could be a 10,000x. I have to say, read my terms and disclaimers. I'm not a financial advisor. I've already been proven correct about all this other stuff. All of it. Bitcoin, crypto, blockchain, social media, the invasion of Ukraine, the art of the peace deal, the golden age, all of it. So again, most of you, a lot of you at least, you missed it. You did. And you're not thinking far out enough. And that's what I'm telling you now. Like in the early days of Bitcoin, and I used to do BBSing in my computer when I was a little kid and had zits on my face. Not kidding. Total nerd. I'm just like, yeah, my little computer, like popping zits everywhere on the mirror. Hey, Ma, can I have another Sunny D? Right? And I'm BBSing and stuff. That's when you get in. When I started in social media, I was like experimenting with it in '08 and '09. I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be huge. Like dropping all kinds of crazy content. That's when you get in. When Bitcoin was invented, and you had to mine it from your computer and no one understood it and it was hard, that's when you get in. When people are sitting around like, I don't even understand what this is. Is this a freaking timeshare? It sounds like a freaking And then later on, so here's my point. You'll be staying at Island Project Portfolio because we're going to be bigger than BlackRock in the future, and you won't even know it. You'll be like, oh, it's a nice hotel we're staying at. This is a pretty nice development. I like this place. Cool, Diamond Nuts. And you won't even realize, guess who owns it? My members and myself. And islandproject.com, just like we own all the Bitcoin and the crypto and the Ethereum and the XR freaking P because we got it all right. Because we're always in early before everybody else when it's scary. You know, and your financial advisor, oh, it's too much risk. It looks like a scam because Jamie Dimon called it a scam. And you're like investigating with a clue finder. Well, there's a difference between getting it right, getting rich, and being one of these, I'm going to be very polite, but like a lot of people think as they're looking for clues that they're like smart. And I'll be blunt about this. So the quote unquote, because I don't think they're smart at all. I think they're stupid. And I'm being PC. But the quote unquote smartest people out there, supposedly, you know, with their like, you know, all their like fancy little things. And I graduated top of my class. I was on scholarship, aced everything. Like literally, I'm a straight A student. So I'm blazingly smart on top of all of it. But my point is, supposedly the smartest people are actually the dumbest. And they are. They're absolutely idiots. And I know so many people still to this day, they're like, I just don't know. I don't know that Bitcoin. I don't know. It just don't make any sense to me. It is not that hard to understand. It is not hard to understand at all. It never has been. Just like the fact that the next major revolutionary act in finance, crypto, and asset classes will be their tokenization. And now you've got every Tom, Dick, and Harry, from Larry Fink to Trump to Jamie Dimon to your lame-ass financial advisor copying every damn thing I said over the last 20 years. And it honestly shouldn't piss me off because I already won. But see, that's the point. You're actually seeing what I'm really passionate about. It's not just the money. See, the money ain't real. The money gets created. It's printed from not, like, you need to understand this. My whole point is to show you how stupid and idiotic the world is. You need to start listening to what I'm saying. A lot of you have a tremendous amount of you have taken my advice. You're living better lives, and honestly, that's why I do everything that I do. And you've dominated with your health and your wellness and your family and your salvation. And honestly, what I'm most proud of, I'll be frank, is the fact I know, because people have told me this, we, along with you, because I'm going to give you credit for that, with God, we've saved more souls, honestly, than anyone I know. As out there that I am and crazy that I supposedly am, honestly, I kind of go to bed at night smiling because I'm like, bro, like, how many souls have we saved and brought to God? Like, too many to count. Most people are quiet and timid and they're not out there and they don't say what they think and they're just not even trying and they're just, you know. So the revolutionary act for you to take now is to, number one, go all in. Sounds scary, doesn't it? So I'm gonna pose something else to you because everyone thinks it's so scary to bet on themselves and get rich. Oh my gosh, I could never bet on myself and get rich and live my wildest dreams. Well, I want you to imagine a living hell that the world has planned for you. Okay, if you want to be in hell in a slave ship, go to your 9 to 5 because you're about to be replaced by AI and robots. And Fortune 100 hates your guts and is going to enjoy firing your ass and sending your entire family on the streets. And they can't wait to put microchips in your head, and they can't wait to launch the next lockdown and remove your constitution like they did in 2020 and tell you things like you have no rights and they're going to eliminate your rights. Remember all that? All the cucks in the United States that already forgot that just a measly few years ago they were removing your constitutional, but more importantly, human rights as a human being? So if you think it's scary to go all in, to buy Bitcoin, to buy Island Project, to live the life of your dreams, to ask that girl out you find attractive, to get married, to do all those big things. You know what's far scarier? What I actually just shared with you, that's always terrified me. The scariest thing would be living in regret. The scariest thing would be to know that you're a weak person. You didn't have any diamond nuts or balls. The scariest thing would be dying in your deathbed, biting your freaking fingernails, realizing you were a loser because you never even tried. As you're being attacked by demons of the deep state 24/7. That is the nightmare. What I've shared with you is actually the light. A hard road at times because not everyone's going to agree, and it's going to create, just like Trump does, creates a lot of controversy, creates a lot of, vitriol on both sides. But at the end of the day, who's winning? Bitcoin is winning. So major announcement, theislandproject.com is closing imminently. It is your last chance to get in like Natasha just did from Austria. What a wonderful woman. God bless you. Amazing woman. Just came in with 150 units. Damien just rolled in. Frank in Waikiki, booyah. We've got another great gentleman, Corey, you know who you are, enjoying Maui right as we speak. And Papa John and I only keep acquiring more properties, building out more, innovating, creating the tech, and now we are positioned, and which is I am in charge of course, our major token launch. You ain't getting in unless you pull that trigger. I'm sorry, you ain't getting in. You gotta click the link below. You've gotta bet on yourself. You've got to get in. And once you do, you'll thank me. Because again, I'm a visionary. I understand tech more than anyone that you've ever met in your entire life. I've been proven correct, by the way, and now it's taking over the entire world. Who wins? You do, but only if you take first mover advantage. I've always called it the early bird. I've said this for years, for 20 years at all my programs, at Bitcoin Rich, at Island Project Club, and AMTV. It's the early bird advantage. You don't want to be late. So what's going to happen next? I'm going to just boil it down. 5 trillion plus crypto total market cap, Ethereum to 10K. Bitcoin's going to reach 500 grand. Okay, it'll hit 200K, which is my next, big short-term target, but it's going to hit all the way up to 500K, I think, in this cycle. Why? The dollar's dead. They don't plan on paying back your fake debt. Trump, Biden, any other president, it's not even their fault, honestly, because the central bank is a criminal entity, are going to print more debt. And guess what that means? People like me keep getting richer. The wealthy will get richer. The elites will keep winning. And the golden age is going to be a wealth transfer to the people that understand this. And the people that don't are going to be slaves under the new technocracy dictatorship being created for all y'all out there. So again, if you're complacent and you're not at the very least diversifying, I've been right on target. I've said this for years too. Like, you should invest in islandproject.com and talk to my dad, and you should come in with a boatload of money just in case you're wrong. Because if I'm right again for the infinite guaranteed time as usual over my 20-year track record of being proven right over and over and over and over and over again, by not buying, you're literally screwing yourself out of the best opportunity of a lifetime because you're waiting for clarity later on when it's obvious after you can't get in anymore and you're buying Bitcoin like most are today at 100K plus and not under 1,000 when I recommended it. So that's my piece, and I'm bringing it to you today, but this is a victory lap, and we're going to have a lot of fun, and that's why we're having fun, man. I'm producing videos that I find enjoyment and also providing value to all you all out there to the best of my ability, and we're working our butts off here at the project, and text my dad and thank him for what he's done, and thank him and our team for everything that we've built and the risks that we've taken on your behalf to truly form a Christian-led community that is changing lives, saving souls, and making people rich. doing kingdom wealth. It's controversial, but somebody's got to do it. And again, Noah, David, they had massive faith. And so does your general. And we never quit, and we always fight, and we never comply, and we always guarantee a solution, which is what the digital Noah's Ark is. It is a solution to the problem of what we all know is coming. And you just have to go to your Bible for that. And the rest of it, we're leaving in God's hands. I'm not God. I submit to God. He's in charge. He's going to make the major call. He tells me how to operate, where to sail the ark. I pray along with my team and Father on every single acquisition, our soon-to-be token launch, and our members, even you. It's funny, people always think they're interviewing me or my father. It's actually the opposite. We're interviewing you to see if you're a good fit to be a part of what we have already built. And what God has already designed is a very specific and special opportunity. Get in. 808-442-2934. That's 808-442-2934. Enter with a minimum of 150 units. You should be stacking to at least 250, 500K, all the way up to our 1,000 unit maximum, of which I have a lot of members. Roll over your IRAs, your retirement accounts. Do it now before Bitcoin's trading at 200K, and you're kicking yourself again, wondering why this crazy guy on the internet keeps getting it right over and over again. Again, I'm here to entertain you, but also bring you truth. And I understand how to speak in parables, by the way. I'm a genius. And I know a lot of you don't like it when I say that, but I really am. I know how to speak in parables to the American people to get people's attention, and then I slam them with what's good for them. And I give them the truth. And what's good for you is empowerment, success, God, faith, and solutions. And we provide all of them because God gave me that power. And I'm one of his amazing disciples living, as many of you are today, in this crisis point that makes up what I believe is end times in 2025. And guess what? You've got 5 years left before 2030. And we all know what the agenda is. Get in.